Welcome everyone with the first session of our workshop series. And as you know, we have like 4 sessions. We will hold, this is the first session, and every week, every Tuesday, probably like we will have next sessions in the following weeks. So today, our workshop is gonna talk about like Bash, and we will go through the basic commands and basic knowledge that you need to know and to be able to use our resources or to work with the Bash. It's not something about like exactly how to use, Crane, but it's important to how to deal with files, editing, or maybe creating directories, creating files, etc. Without those skills and knowledge, you will have like really a bad experience working with probably like with the cluster and supercomputing in general. So first of all, let me introduce myself. Like, I'm Mohammed, and I have Emily. She's also an application specialist. We have Colin, Natasha, and Niruktha, and we have also Adam. And there is also many HCC. Huijen also, I think she's with us right now. So if you need anything, just let them know. So who we are, first of all. So our center called Holland Computing Center. So we are located in 2 locations. We are located at Shore Center at University of Nebraska-Lincoln, and PKI at University of Lincoln, Omaha. So we provide the research computing resources, like trying to help or to provide, computational resources to the researchers, users, grad students, undergrad students to the University of Nebraska. And, some other also like, places outside also, like out of Lincoln or out of Nebraska in general. So we mainly provide service to University of Nebraska-Lincoln, UNO, UNK, and UNMC. We have 2 main resources for computations, which is 2 clusters or 2 supercomputers called Crane and Rhino. So when you create an account, you can use both of them, either Crane or Rhino. So you will have ability to access both of them and work with both of them as well. On the other hand, we provide a cloud computing called Anvil. So if you need like a virtual machine or a different flavor, operating system that you need for your research, we provide it as well. Let's say mainly in free. So also if you need like storage, we have long-term data storage called ATIC or ATIC. And like usually this is like for fee, but that fee is really like, a small fee. And usually like researchers or, professors, they have, for example, funds, or they have some money and needs that storage, they will get that storage for themselves and for their students. The most important thing we have is research facilitation services, which is you guys, like when you deal with clusters, running applications, use some softwares, probably you will have some or encounter some issues, problems. You need some troubleshooting, some consultations, or maybe training as we are doing right now. Or for example, you need, some solutions or customized solution for your research. On the other hand, sometimes you need a software that is not provided or not installed in our cluster sometimes, and you need to use a specific software. So we will be happy to help you do the installation as well, and guide you on how to use it. Usually, most of the software or scientific softwares, they are, free to use or free license, but some of them, they are not. So we provide some of the, important licensed softwares, for example, R or, MATLAB in our cluster. But if you need a specific software that is, for example, a licensed software, or probably like we need to have a conversation about it and to be able to install that software to you. We provide basic services. Usually you have like access to our resources for free. And but sometimes your research needs to have, lots of computations. You need your jobs to run like, or waiting in the queue for less time. If you have, or if you need this service, we will provide this with a fee. So we can give you a priority access, but mainly like our users, they don't need it. So today's workshop, or in general, like June workshop series, as I said, is going to be like 4 sessions. June 8th, which is, we will talk about connecting to HCC clusters and introduction to Bash. And June 15th is going to be continuing to our session of, Bash lesson. And we will talk about also version control with Git. On the June 22nd, we will do submitting jobs and handling data on a crane. Then the last series or last session is going to be using Anaconda to manage softwares. So I hope you guys are going to enjoy it and you get benefits of it. So today we will talk about Unix shell. So most of you guys, like when you are dealing with a computer, working with a computer, you need something to interact with, to give commands, give your order to that machine, to be able to run your stuffs. So interacting with the hardware, it's, there is a third party, let's say. It's between you and the hardware, which is the operating system. And that operating system will provide like softwares and, some tools that you need to install to make it easier for you as a user. And most of you guys, they work with the graphical user interface operating system and tools. That is, you find it's, mostly very easy and, it's enjoyable sometimes, or most of the times. While there is like other way to communicate with the hardware or interact with your computer, which is using CLI, which is command line interface. The command line interface doesn't have any graphical user interface. That's as you see in, like, for example, Windows or Mac machines. But on the other hand, sometimes it's important to use command line interface, and sometimes it's going to be like make your life easier to deal with like command line interface versus graphical user interface. Always remember, the beginning is the hardest thing. So when you are working with command line interface, the hardest thing is going to be the beginning. When you learn it, you're going to love it, and you're going to see it's going to be like, oh, it's more easier than what I thought it is. So one part of this program is called like shell. Shell, it's a program, and a program that will let you or make you the ability to give commands or interpret commands. and give orders to execute to your machine. One of the most popular, programs to interact with your machine called shell or bash. Sorry, bash is the most popular one, and mostly it comes with most of the operating systems. And if you don't have it, you can even install it on your machine. At the beginning, as I said, like when you are working with the shell commands, you're gonna see it. It's like, oh, it's hard. It's it's gonna be like confusing a little bit. But when you deal with it more and more, you're gonna get used to it and see it more useful and more usable. Myself, I don't remember all of the commands. Sometimes, like if you need some commands and you need to learn, I can't give you like in this session all of the commands that you need or that you can use in the shell. But on the other hand, I can give you a very basic commands that will help you to interact with, and most useful commands that usually users need to manipulate files or create files or move and those and make those stuff. So sorry. Okay. So today we will like go through probably 10 to 15 basic commands for Linux. And if you need, for example, you can mostly do anything in the command line, anything you want. Sometimes, like if you need a specific command, you can even Google it or search about it. And when you have the the basic knowledge about how to use this command, you're gonna see it's easy to use other commands if needed. So why use the Unix shell? So it's a powerful like tool set. It's one of the easiest way to interact with the machine without graphical user interface. And I'm gonna give you a small example. So imagine you have, for example, like you are working with the graphical user interface, and you have, for example, 100 files, and those 100 files have, you need to modify, for example, or copy the first line of each of them and put them in one, one document or one file. So in this case, in the graphical user interface, imagine you need to open those 100 files, copy and paste. So probably it's going to take like lots of time, right? So this is very easy using a shell. In this case, for example, we can write a command that iterate all of those commands and just put them in seconds. So you can spend, for example, hours and take the risk of, for example, or high probability to get, for example, to have an error or a mistake with those. But while you are using, Unix shell and commands, is going to be like very fast, and it's going to be like less generated errors, or even like zero if you are using it correctly. But imagine always using a command line interface. Sometimes you need to be careful. For example, when you are deleting files or manipulating files, it's just a command. When you hit enter, sometimes it's done. It's just like the command is executed. And sometimes it's very hard to go back to the previous previous stage that you have did. We will be logging to the crane today and using shell, and you can also use Unix shell in your laptop or Mac, etc. So those are some commands that we will go through today. For example, and what's the abbreviation of them? Like, for example, like CD stand for like change directory, ls list, pwd, which is print working directory, MV, which is move or rename, RM, which is remove, CP, copy, Nano, which is one of the text editor. There is many text editor. We'll talk about like some versions of text editors that you can use. Creating an empty file, we can use touch, WC, which is word count, sort is a command like sort from sort, which is sort lines in a file, echo, printing to screen, cat, just printing content of the file, etc. We will go through also like some of the for loops as well, like iterating on some files. And hopefully we will have time to cover all of those. And I hope you guys are going to enjoy it. So Git is going to be like in the next session. We are not going to talk about it in this session. These are some important links I think it's important for everyone to know about. So first of all, when you have an HCC account, that means you need to know our website. And because there's lots of information that we provide for our users. So the first link is our website is gonna direct you to contact us, which is the employees who works at HCC Center. And we also have part of this website, we have HCC documentation. And HCC documentation, you can have lots of information. I'm saying like lots of information. I think we tried to organize it as much as possible, and I think it's very useful. I highly recommend everyone to read and go through the documentation that we provide. It's gonna give you, like, first of all, it's gonna save your time. Second of all, it's gonna, like, you know, give you a very good background and knowledge about, you know, how to use a cluster, about, you know, things that you need, and you will probably need at least one or most of them in your journey for using our resources. Sometimes you will use our resources. While you are using our resources, you will have a problem, or you will have, you know, some issues that will face you, or, like, you know, you will encounter while running an application, or you need some installation softwares. You have some, you know, script things, or, like, you know, submitting jobs, you have a problem, you know, your job is not running. Sometimes there's lots of things, you know, I can't count them all. But if you have any problem and you need, you know, the best way to, you know, to solve it is by sending us a ticket using this email, hccsupport@unl.edu. We tried as much as possible as we can to provide, you know, a solution, or like help you at least in the shortest time. So usually, like, our tickets is not gonna stay for long on our ticketing system. So, you know, hopefully we can, it depends on, like, the issue, but usually, like, it's not gonna take more than, if it's a smaller problem, it's not gonna take for more than 1 day. So today we are gonna use, like, something like, or a part of, we're gonna learn Unix shell. We will depend on something called Carpentry or Software Carpentry. They provide some lessons that are useful. We can see it's, you know, one of the best way to, you know, even go back and go through all of the commands, and, you know, try to practice more and more. And this is the link, and we're gonna use it today as well. Today as well, we have something called command history. So anything I can type on my terminal, and which is the command line interface, you're gonna see it on the website or on the web page. It's a mirror of my, let's say, mirror of my command line. So you can get the commands if you have any problem with it, or, you know, it's gonna be much easier to keep track with me and get some useful commands. So I'll show you here. So this is how you can see it. So when you open the link, so probably like I need to, can somebody put it in the chat box maybe? And let me see here. I don't see the chat box yet, but like I probably like I'll put it again just in case. Sorry.
It's in the chat, Mohammed.
Sure, thank you. Yeah, and so if you click to that link or like, I'm sorry. So this link will give you to here, which is anything I can write, for example, in here. For example, if I type any of the command, so you can see it. Sometimes it's delayed. You need to refresh your page, but probably you will see it over here. Okay. So I'll start with the carpentry lesson. So if you go to this link, I will put it in the chat as well. Okay. So you will get to here. So this is the website or the carpentry website that I told you already about, which is what we're gonna follow. So first of all, like it's the schedule or like it's divided in sessions. The first session is about setup, introducing to the shell, navigating files and directories, working with files and directories, pipelines and filters, loops, shell script, and finding things. So in this session today, probably we will go till the loops. Hopefully we can finish till the loops. And in the next session, next week, we're gonna go through like shell scripts and, probably get and, continue. So again, as I said, it's not gonna be harmful. It's gonna be useful actually, to practice more and more after we finish. So you can go to this carpentry lesson as well. You can practice and repeat and repeat. Probably like there's more examples that I'm gonna, I don't know if I have time to cover. Maybe there's here like some quizzes, that some questions, and it go through step by step with you. So like setup, if I click to the setup, we need like a file to prepare or to work on. It's going to be easier for us, to manipulate or, show some useful comments based on those files. So we need some files, some, data inside these files, directories, and to make it easier. So there is a link. So we can install this link. Before going to this, is there anybody having a problem to log into the cluster? If yes, please like raise, like put the checkbox, yes checkbox or whatever. I'll go through this with you guys. So first of all, let me make it probably. Can you see here? Is it good size? If not, please just like interrupt me and tell me it's like it needs to be probably bigger fonts. So here, to be able to log into the cluster, you need to do like write the command SSH, then here your username. For example, in my case, so it's demo01. This is my username. and and where you want to log in. For example, I need to log into the crane. Sometimes, okay, if I want to use, as I said, like we provide two clusters, which is a free to access, which is crane and Rhino. So I can like write instead of crane, Rhino, so I can access Rhino. If I want to use a crane, so I can do at crane and .unl.edu, and then enter. It will ask you about your password. I don't know what's happened to the password that I already log in, but I log into my account, no problem. So for example, this is my username. So then after you write your password, then it will ask you to which way you need to verify your second authentication. Usually I'll just type one, which is do a push notification. And then I'm gonna receive a push notification on my phone if I confirm it. So as you can see, I'm the host like of Crane. And as you can see here, so this is my username. I usually, when I get in, I do to the login node, do to Crane. Okay, sounds good. So yeah, let's start. So the first command, so like I am right now. So if you can see here you can see you are in the login node. So you are in the login node, and this is your username. You can see different. For example, if your username is, for example, X, it's gonna be like X at login.crane. And sorry for that. Okay. So yeah, like you're gonna see yourself at the login like .crane, and you know your username as here. So here in the shell, and you can, that means here like you can write your commands. So we will write our commands over here, and to execute our command, you need just to hit enter. The first command I'm gonna use, you know, before, like it's a kind of different command, but like we need it at the beginning. So in the Unix shell, if you go to the setup, there is a data shell.zip file. So we need to install or download this file on our machine. Before that, let's see, there is a command called ls. Ls, that means list. So it will list all of the files and directories that is located in the current location that I am in the terminal. For example, if I type ls, so it's gonna list all of the command or all of the files or directories in the current directory or current location that I am in right now. So I have just like a directory called command history. So let's download this file. To download it, just like, you know, you can point on this file, right click on it and copy the link. After you copy the link, you go back to your terminal. And the first command we're gonna learn is wget. wget is to install, like, you know, if you have a URL and you want to install it to your, you know, remote server, you need just to use wget, and you just Control Shift and V for Windows, and maybe Command and V for Linux keyboard or Linux machine, which is you need, like, for example, I'm using a Mac, so you need to paste it, or just right click and paste that link. So after we paste this link, you click enter. So as you can see, it will download this file, and there is a scale over here from, like, when it's 100%, that means it's fully downloaded, and this is how many seconds it took to download this file. How can I know this file is already installed or downloaded to my server in my current location? By the way, this wget, it will download this file in your current location where you use this command. If I do ls again, you can see here, so there's a data shell.zip file. It's already downloaded. So please do it, all of you, because we needed to work with it for this session. As you know, like after you download it, is everybody downloaded it successfully? Anyone have a problem with it? So I can't stop probably like for each one, but this is like a very important, you know, step that we want to make sure you guys have all this file. So as you can see, there's a data shell.
I didn't find it. Could you repeat one more time how to find it?
If you go to the link to the carpentry workshop lessons, if you go to the setup, so usually you will go here, you go to the setup. In the setup, you can, the first thing, download data shell.zip. So you right click, you point to this, to the data shell.zip, you right click to it and copy the link. Copy link, and then you use the command wget and you paste space and you paste the command. So as you can see, like we have a data shell over here. So this is the directory that is already unzipped. And now we are ready to go with the commands. So till now we have 3 commands: ls, wget, and unzip. So now like let's do some fancy stuffs, right? So sometimes, like as you can see here in my window, like there is like lots of files, and sometimes it's inconvenient to work with this, you know, all of those, you know, lines, and you want a clear workspace. So the shell command, like they have like one of the commands that will clear this to me, and you know, let me work on the probably clear you know, environment. The command called clear, if I just write clear and hit enter, and you can see like now it's a clear environment. But where like the other commands and, you know, previous history, or like, you know, the comments that was on my screen or my interface over here. So where is it right now? So if you can, you can scroll it up and you can see it as well. Now, we said it's a list, right? So a list is a list for all documents and files that I have. But there is something called, like most of the commands on the shell, they have something called options or flags. So usually, like we can use it with the commands itself. Some of them they take input, some of them they work as like clear. Clear doesn't have anything, right? ls, sometimes it doesn't have flags, but sometimes we can add some of the options that we can give us like more, let's say, advanced, you know, comments that will help us, you know, to achieve our goal if we need a specific things. So for example, we will do ls-f. So when you see dash, that means it's an option. So we will, you know, give the command an option to use. So it will, you know, give us like more advanced things to do usually. And for example, if they called it like switch or a flag, that will flag all of the files that we already have in here with some symbols to indicate those files. For example, I don't know this file, if it's like a directory, if it's a link, or it's a file. So in -f, it will like, you know, give me this. For example, like it will give a slash, that means it's a directory. When you see a slash, that means, or backslash, is going to be, that means it's a directory. I think for a link, it will give the symbol at, and if it's a file, it's gonna be probably like a star. So you can see, it depends on like how many files do you have. So another thing, there is another flag. For example, if we do ls minus s, as you can see, this is like I use F capital letter, while here I used S small letter. So what does this mean? That means if you are working with a command line interface or the shell, it's you need to distinguish. It's like case sensitive. It's a case sensitive thing. So a small letter is different than a capital letter. So you need to be careful about this. So what does ls minus s? So this will give me the size of the files and directory with its name. If you remember, like ls is gonna like give me just like list of the files, while ls and dash f or dash s small letter, that will give me something else, like more options, for example the size and the flag for beside the size, beside the files. Okay, so now there is something called ls dash s capital. As I said, it's case sensitive. ls small is different than ls capital. So in ls capital, it will list me all of the files, and it's sorted with me. It's like gonna sort the directory and the files. So as you can see, it's these are like sorted descending. For example, this data shell and data and comment. So there is something like, is it just these are the only options that we can use? No. So there is more options, much more options. So how can I know those options? Those options we can always, like all the commands, they have something called help. So each command that you have, they have a help to help you understand the command, how to write it, which flag is going to take it, with options and those stuffs. To do this, or to see the help, we can just like do ls dash dash help. As you can see in here, so you can scroll to the beginning. So here, like you can see, this is ls, the command usage, and there is like the options. And even though it can take a file, and like this is how you can write it. Those are an option. Like this is not mandatory things, like the option and the file. So it depends on how you want to use the command. And those are the flags or the options that you can use. For example, dash A, you can use a small letter, dash A capital letter, dash B capital, dash C small, dash C, and etc. So all of those are the options you can use. So always, if you have a comment you want to know and you want to learn about it, it's highly recommended to you the help for this command. And for example, let's see, like minus T or dash T, sorry. Dash T small, for example, sort by modification time in newest first. So it will sort all the files, the listed files, by modification time. That is gonna like list the newest one first. So you can learn always about the help for each command that you want to use. Another one you can use, which is man. Man, that means it's like manual. Manual for, let's use like clear again, for example. So I can use man ls. Man ls is the manual. It will give you all the options, or like description and the name, what's this command, etc. So you can use a space to go down or space with character B to go up one page. And to quit it, so now as you can see, I'm in the manual page. I'm not in the, I can't write any commands. So here you can press H for help or Q to quit. So you can, I just press Q and I'm back to my terminal or normal terminal. Okay. I hope everybody's, following me and, writing the commands as well. Okay, I have something. So can we use more than one option at the same time? And the answer is yes. For example, if I do ls, this is the ls, right? ls, for example, dash t. So this is ls dash t, right? But if I do ls dash t and dash r, for example, which is the reverse order. And this is the T is like ordering by the last changes and the time, which is like last changes first. And this is dash T on the reverse order and last changes. And can I do this? Yes. So it's sorted with me. So you can use more than or the combination of options together, more than one option at the same time, which is totally fine. Another way I can do it, for example, I can do ls, instead of dash t dash r, I can combine them in just in one, dash tr at the same time. Imagine like this is like how flexible is the shell to work with. So it gives you like a convenient options to use. Okay, again, this is the ls, this is the files that I have. So now we will talk about something called ls-l. Dash L, what does it mean? Dash L, it will give me like, like a human readable list. For example, this is like the file. It will give me more information about the file or the directory that has, like, this is the last time changes, and this is my account and or account username, and these are the permissions. The first one, this will indicate D is in a directory, while this is just a file. The directory is D, then RWX. The R means you can write, you can read to this file or directory. You have the access to read. W is write, X and execute. And the first three letters is just like for the owner and of this file. This is for the group, and the last three is for the whole world. So just to know about this. Okay. Again. So there is a command we need to know. It's called pwd. Pwd, it's print working directory. This is what it stands for. So pwd, if I write pwd, like if I ask you a question, like I ask myself where I'm right now, like what's the path I'm sitting in right now, like in the machine. So usually, like when you are logging to any of the machines, you will be in the home directory, like for Crane or like for Rhino. So this is where you're gonna sit in when you log into the Crane or Rhino. So, but to know where you are sometimes, or lots of the times, you need to know where are you, because you need, like you have some files and some directories, you need to move on, you need to go back, forward in the files, and you don't know where are you right now. So pwd will print where you are. So to do this, like right now, like it will give me from the root path. So it's going to be like, I am in the home directory, then this is my group name, which is demo, and this is my user account name or ID, demo1. Can I go to some other directories? Yes, you can, and we will learn about it in a bit. But yeah, right now, so you are in the, this is the path that I am in right now. And imagine it's like a tree. So all of the files, folders, we call them like in Linux community directories. So it's the same as folders, but like we call them directories. So those directories, it's like a tree. Imagine it's a tree. We have the root. And then after that, from the root, we will go down and down level by level. Like, for example, if you have root, which is like going to be one directory, go back like in the next level, for example, is going to be bin and, you know, users. And then after that, inside users, for example, we will have another directory called, for example, demo1, or like my username demo, or the group, or demo1, etc. So imagine it, it's like a tree. Then inside this one, maybe we can create some other files or directories in here, or files, you know, and then inside those directories, we have another directories. Inside them, we have another. So another level of directories. So it's a tree. And that's why you need to know where you are right now. So I am now in the demo, and the home demo and demo 01, which is, here is my group name, and here is my username or my account name. So here I'm in the demo 01. So if I want to do or create some directories inside of this directory, I can do it. If I want to create it somewhere else, if I have permissions, I can do it. And this is very important, you know, comment that you need to learn. Now, if I want, now I'm in this, you know, location, this directory right now, or this path, I'm sitting in here. So if I do ls, so this one, demo 01, it's a tree, right? Have those 3 files inside of it, or directories. It's a mixed. So if I want to create, for example, a directory, or I want to enter this file, or this directory, I'm sorry, data shell, how can I enter this? So I need to change my path from here / to data shell, for example. So let's, you know, move to this directory. How can we do that? So there is a command, the command called cd, which is change directory, or changing your directory. cd change directory, and then I can write the name of the directory, data shell. Okay. So I wanna give you like a really a very a good, you know, hint about this, or like very good trick about like using, you know, typing. There is something called tab to complete. So for example, here, like I cd to data shell, right? I want this command, but sometimes like if there is many files called data shell 1, data shell 2, data shell 3, and sometimes like I need some faster way, you know, to manipulate and, you know, deal with those names. So there is something called tab. For example, like this is data, right? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna write the first letter, which is cd, then d, and hit double tap. Look, if I hit double tap, it's already completed for me. So it's cd data shell, and it's already completed without typing it. So this is going to be more specifically like for typos or those stuffs, and it's going to be faster for you. For example, here I have data shell, and I have data shell dot zip. If I want dot zip, what I'm going to do? So now look, if I click another tab, it's going to show me the files and directories that started with data-shell. We have 2 of them, right? If I want to continue to do zip file, I do just like dot, then tab. So it will complete it for me. But I don't want to the zip file, because this is a file. I want to enter the directory, which is cd, which is changing directory. I want to change the directory to the data-shell. So I see cd data-shell, enter. It's not gonna give me any of the output. but like it's, as you can see in here in your terminal, you can see data-shell. That means you are in this directory called data shell. So if I do ls again, or ls, let's do -l, right? So you can see this is all the files and directories that is inside data shell. How can I know as well where I am right now? Like I'm really inside data shell. If I do pwd, printing word directory, working directory. So you can see now, I was in the tree, right? It's a tree, home, demo, demo 01. Now I'm home, demo, demo 01, then data shell. And data shell have those files and directories inside of it. So I hope everybody is with me right now. Okay. So now, like I am in here, right? PWD, I am in here. I can go forward. For example, if I do go on to the data file directory, I can do another CD data, right? Enter. I am now in the data, as you can see here, PWD. I am home, demo, demo 01, data, shell, and then data. A tree, right? It's a tree of directories. Now, I can go forward. How can I go back? So imagine I'm in this directory here, in this part of this tree, and I want to go back to the demo. Or let's say I want to go back to the directory and be in the path data shell. How can I do that? So I'm going to show you something. There is something called ls, this is the -f-a, okay? So imagine this is a child and this is the parent directory and this is the child directory, right? And this is a parent of those directories inside of it, right? So now if I do ls-f-a, will give us like all of the files. There is sometimes hidden files, and you can see over here, we have double dots and we have a dot. Double dots, that means like this is where is your parent directory. This is your parent. This is like, I mean, the directory I'm sitting in, the parent of it, which is in here, double dot. So for example, and we have dot, that means we are in the current directory. This is the current directory. How can I go back or forward? Always, we need to change the directory, right? We can do CD. And now I can use like animal counts. I can go forward inside this one, or elements, right? These are directories. While as you can see here, this is the directory sign, but here like we have just like a file called text. And here, like for example, if I want to CD, if I do dot, just one dot, that means, as I said, like one dot, that means like we are in the current directory. Did we change to other directories? Let's see. PWD. No, we don't. We are still in the same directory because we didn't change any of the directories. We changed the directory to the directory that we are in. But if I do CD and I choose dot dot, okay, CD space dot dot, that means change your directory to the parent of the directory you are in right now. So I do CD dot dot. Like as you can see here, you were in the data, and now we are on the data shell, which is, if we can go to the tree or the directory that we have data, and the parent is data shell. So we are in data shell. Now, if you can, if you do PWD, as you can see here, we went backward. So we changed the directory to the parent of the directory that we are in right now, or we were in previously. So let's do something. So let's do again CD. I'm gonna go back to data, okay, and ls. Now if I go PWD, I am in here. If I want to go back,
I'll be there in a quick second.
if we want to go to the this like directory, how many like back or how many parents we need to do? We need to go to change the directory to this one, and then
Slack message.
Colin, please, like, can you mute yourself? Okay, so here is like demo 01, and we are in the data, so we need to go back to 2 steps, you know, back. So to do this, there is 2 ways. Like there is like sometimes is the longest way. I can do cd ... right? Now where I'm right now in data shell, I need to go to the demo. I can do cd ... space ... again. So now, okay, I'm in demo 1, right? Is there an easier way to do it? Yes, there is. So I can do this, go back. I can do cd data shell. I'll do it like now forward. So if I want to go to the, as we said, to the data, right? Data, it's inside data shell, right? I am in the demo. I want to go 2 steps, data shell, then data. And instead of going step by step, I can do it 2 steps together, 3 steps, 4, 5, whatever, like till I reach the directory that I want to be in. So if I do data shell, I can do backslash, then I can do, for example, tab. If I do tab, I can see all the folders and, you know, files and directories that is in this directory in the data shell. I can continue. I can do data. It's a tree, right? It's a tree separated by backslash. So data shell backslash data. Then I want to be in this, so I can do enter. So if I do pwd, so I went inside 2 directories at the same time, instead of 1 step by 1 step. Can I do it backward? Yes, I can do backward. So I can do cd ... This is the parent of the data directory, and I need to go to the demo 1, which is the parent of data shell. So I can do data, dot. This is the parent and the parent, which is, if I do pwd, I'm now still in the demo. Okay. I hope everything is fine. So if I do ls, I'm now in the data shell. So sorry, in my home directory. So we know ls, right? So if I want, just like I do want to enter the data shell directory, I want just to see its files, what is inside of it. I want to display on my screen. Okay, I can do ls, and I can do, which is list, right? Data shell. So this data shell, it will show me over here all of the files that is inside the data shell, right? But imagine, and directories, imagine like where I am right now. Did I enter this directory? Let's see, pwd. If I do pwd, so I'm still in demo 1, but I can list all of the comments. So can I access those right now, like in the same directory? No, because I'm not in the directory that is, you know, if I do like, for example, cd creators, does it work? No, because I'm not. It says no such file or directory because I'm not in the correct path. But I just listed all the files and, you know, directories that's inside. So can I do, for example, ls, sorry, data shell backslash another file, for example, data. Let's see, I can, sure. So I can list any of the files, like for like any of the path that I want to be. So this is one of the useful things probably like you need to do, or like you will use. Again, can I cd? Yes, we said you can already cd, like, you know, different, like, you know, multi-level of the directories that you want, or the path. So let me do right now. I am in demo cd data shell, and let me do. I am inside the data ls. Okay, I am in here. So imagine like this path is really long. Like there is, for example, cd animal counts. It has just a one file. So I'm in here, right? So if I want to go back to my home directory, this guy, I need to do like cd dot cd, sorry, dot 3 levels, right? Or like 1, 2, 3, right? 3 levels. Sometimes like if it's like 10 or 5 or 7 levels, it's going to be like sometimes like hard really sometimes hard to count as well, right? And usually you will get some mistakes. So can I go directly for one command to my home directory? Yes, we can. So if we do just cd, right? Just write cd and space and enter. Now I do pwd. I went already to my home account. So in this case, so I already went to my home account. So is there is any way, let's see, there is any command, other commands. Let's say I am lcd again, data shell data. Okay. So, and I want to go back to my home directory. I can do cd space tilde as well. So this will also like, send me, or like I'll be moving to my home directory. So if I do pwd, so as you can see, we already moved to my home directory. So any questions, anything? Is everything is fine right now? So again, like for example, I can do cd -- help. All of the commands I said, like there's a help, there's a man page, and you can always go and look at them and try some other options if you need, just to explore. And as always, clear. So now we will go with working with files and directories. So okay, so now again, I'm demo 1 cd. Let me do first. I'll show you. I'm in ls again. cd. I want to enter data shell. Okay. I want to list data shell. Let's say. So there is ls dash. So as you can see here, so for example, there's like a bash profile. The ls-a will show me all of the hidden. There's like some hidden files sometimes in your directories. And usually, like for example, like this one has like all of the configurations that for some programs to use and some tools. So that's why, like, to make them just like hidden, so you don't mess up with them. So and if you want to show them, like ls-a will like show all of that, all of the hidden and not hidden files, as you can see, dot as well, and dot. Okay, so now we will go and talk about working with files and directories. We know right now how to navigate our system. There is much more. You can, like if you know the basics, you can probably go through it. And, if you want to be like to go deep in it, so you are very welcome to explore yourself and, maybe search and use the help and man commands always. Now we have, for example, if in this directory, as we downloaded, so in the data shell, we have directories 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we have 3 files. So imagine, like, as I said, it's a tree, right? We need probably like I need to create another directory. For example, I need to create a directory called thesis. So how can I do that? There is a command, mkdir. So mkdir, that means it's make directory. It's a stand for make directory, and space, and I can now write the name of the directory that I want to create. For example, I do it like, for example, thesis. Okay, click enter. Then here, like, there's nothing will show on the terminal. If I do pwd, so I'm still in the same directory. If I do ls-l, for example, so I can see here this directory is already created, and it's created June 8th, right? At this time, it's like 14:35. Okay, let me try do something else. So can I do a tree of directories, create a tree of directories together? So for example, let's say make directory. Let's call it, for example, file, or listen, directory 1. And inside this directory 1, I want directory 2. Inside of directory 2, I need directory 3. Is that possible? Yes, possible. Is this the right command? I don't know. I think it's not the right one. It's the right command, but like it's missing something. So if I do this, oh, okay, there is an error. Make directory cannot create directory because there is no directory called directory 1 to create directory 2 inside of it. So how can I solve this? So in this, we have a command, or we have an option called -p. -p will make us create those tree of directories together in the level that we want to be. So make directory, we do -p. Okay, and can we do this? Oh, it doesn't give us anything. Let's see. If we do ls, we have directory 1, right? If we cd, do you want to cd or ls? Let's do cd. We can do directory, tab, directory 1, inside of it directory 2, inside of it directory 3. So the CLI, or the command line interface, the shell, will give us the ability to create directories and like subdirectories or directory trees. Imagine if you are doing it in graphical user interface, you need to create it in the first, directory, then enter inside of it to directory 2 and directory 3 and so on, right? So this is, for example, one of the advantages using, command line interface. There is something I didn't actually mention. So we have a history of command, right? Right now, like, for example, if you saw or you notice that I just did this. So it come up with this comment, right? Without let's say, write it again. So yeah, you can use here, you can use the arrows to browse between your previous comments. So this is going to also be make it easier to you to navigate and, to write the comments. Okay. There is something else actually. If I do pwd, I can see I am in the home demo01 data shell, right? So I'm gonna go inside cd. Okay, so let me tell you something. So to navigate or to enter, like for example, we did lscd to some of the specific paths that we have. Imagine we want this path. So there's two ways, right? So if I am in data shell, okay, and I am I am, for example, in totally different directory, you know, I want to go back to data shell, or for example, I want to go to the thesis one that I have. I can do CD thesis, right? That's fine. I'm not gonna execute this. While I can do, for example, CD, and I can write the whole path. So either you can do like the path that you are like in, or like they call it a relative path, or they called it, this one, they called it a discrete path. Discrete path, that means you are writing the path from the beginning. So for example, in here, so I'll go, so the first one is I go home, then after that, I go to demo, then demo 01, then I'm gonna do data shell, then I'm gonna do thesis, right? We say thesis. Okay, do enter. It's the same thing. So like, but I want you to distinguish. Sometimes you have a discrete path you want to access, so you can write the whole path. So you can write the whole path from the root till, you know, the path that you want to get in. So if I do also, I can do, for example, I can do ls, right, for this one. But like, I think it doesn't have anything inside of it, right? Because we just created this directory. But like, for example, I can do here, for example, creators. Okay. So in this file, for example, this directory, the creators, we have those files inside of it. So just to let you know, like how to distinguish between those, you know, discrete path and relative paths. Okay. Did I miss anything? Hopefully not. So imagine, like, you know, guys, like, as I said, like, I'll try to remember most of the commands that's usable and, you know, like, that's useful for you to use. But sometimes, you know, like, I miss something, or like, it doesn't come to my mind. Then always you can, as I said, like, you can Google the command, or, you know, you can see like command line, for example, changing directory. You can see what's the command used for that. So I'll try to cover most of it. Okay, so now we are inside the thesis directory, right? Now, imagine I want to create a file inside of this. So I want to create a file and put some text on it inside of it. For example, like I want to have a text file, or I have some data I want to write, or, you know, README file, whatever file you want to do. So we know how to make a directory, right? To create a directory. But how can I do, or like make a file, not a directory? There is a way? Yes, there is. There's many ways actually. One of them, and let's say majority of novice, you know, users, they use this tool. We're going to talk about a tool and ways how to create it. So like, imagine like in your graphical user interface, you want to create file, you open like a text editor, or for example, Microsoft Word, or what other editor you have in your machine. Then after that, you write what you want, then you save it, right? It's kind of the same in here. So we have some tools that will help you, you know, to edit and, you know, add text to your file. So there is many editors actually we can use. Well, like for example, there's one called VIM, there's one called Nano, which is what we're gonna talk about, which is the most, you know, or easiest, or let's say like user-friendly one. And to do this, so there is a command after we install the tool, or the tool is installed, we can say the tool we said it's called Nano. So Nano is the editor actually. And we can write Nano, and we can write the name of the file that we need to create. for example, I want to do like doc1, okay? I can put extension and I can, you know, just ignore it. So extension is like in the command line interface, it's somehow useless and not like how it's used or not. Like the thing is, I can just create a doc1, which is a text file, but I can do doc1.text. Okay. The most reason to put the extension is just for the user or for you to know what's this file is or its extension, what's inside of it. So if I do like, for example, nano doc1.text and enter. Wow. So I already, you know, enter a tool or like an interface for a tool or nano tool that will help me to write the text. So if I want, for example, to write hello HCC users, okay? I want to put this, you know, text inside this file and I want to save it. As you can see here, why it's like, as I said, it's user friendly, this tool, because it will show you here, you know, the shortcut or what you need to do to save, to quit, to get help, to redo, to undo, etc. And for example, I want just like, you know, to write this one, I'm just gonna, it's gonna be like control with O. So file name, this is the file name, as you can see. If I do control with O, so it will ask me, this is the file name to write. You need to write this on the file that you created, which is we created doc1.text. So I can hit enter, it's yes, or I can change the name as I want. But we'll do it, yes. Then it saved it to the doc1.text, as you can see over here. So after I'm done with creating this file, I can do just control plus X, which is going to exit me from the interface or this tool or the nano. So if I do control X, as you can see, and we already exited the nano editor. Now, did this file, do we create this file or not? Is it exist? We can see, we can do ls, and we can see, as you can see, there's doc1.text, which means it's the text file. So how can I view this text? One way, we're gonna talk about other ways as well, but like one way I can see, like, you know, I can do another nano, okay? Doc1.text. I can see what's inside of it, right? So this is a one way to do it. And I can do like control X again. If I want as well to edit it, so I can do, and, you know, for example, welcome. Okay. And then after that, I can write it again. Control O, the same one, and control X. So I can see it again. It's already there. Okay. So I don't know if I will have some time, I will introduce you to other, you know, editor called VIM, and I'm not sure. Let's see. Okay. So now we already have Nano, and there is another way to create files. We have file. Okay. There is a command called touch. Touch, that means like it will like touch this file and create this file. So we like without even editing it or having nothing in it. So it just will create an empty file. For example, let's say touch doc2.text. Okay, enter. It will not show anything. If we do ls, it created another file called doc2.text. If I want to edit this file, I can do nano doc2.text. So this is the file. I can do hello. Okay. I can Control O, yes, enter Control X. Let's. So touch, it's another command that will create an empty file. So if you want to create an empty file, you just need to use the touch command with the name of the file. Okay. Okay. So ls. So let's make a directory here called files. Okay. Or let's say here text files, let's say. Okay. Ls, I create this one. So the thing is, I created this directory so I can store all of the text files that I have inside this directory, right? But imagine those files are outside or in the parent directory of the text file directory, but I want to move them to the text file directory. So how can I do this? Is there any command? Yes, there is a command called move. Okay, the command move, and then here you can write, it will move the files that you want to the specific location that you specified. From where to. So now I am in the same directory, right? So I want to move this file, doc1, for example, inside text file. So I can do move doc1.text to where? So as I said before, we can use relative path and we can use a discrete path. So if it's a relative path, so I can just write, now we are in the thesis, and inside of it, there is a text file, right? I want to move it here, right? So I just move doc1.text to this directory, enter. If I do ls, I can't see doc1.text. So let's make sure it's already inside text files. So cd text files, or maybe this is not the good idea. You know, I think it's ls text file is better, right? So I just need to see what's inside the files. ls text file, so I can see doc1, it's already moved inside the text file directory. Okay, I'm gonna now ls, we have text2 or doc2. I'm gonna touch doc3.text. Okay, we have two files. So I just move file by file, right? Like I just move one file. Can I move more than one file at the time? Is it going to be easier for us? For sure, it's going to be much more easier, right? Sometimes we need to, move like hundreds of files, for example, or 10, let's say, or whatever. So I can do move doc2 and doc3. You can see like it's move the first name or the first file space, the second file, and where to move it. If we do ls, we can't see here any of the files because we already moved them inside the text files. So if we do ls text files, you can see it's the three files inside of it right now. Okay. Now we're gonna go or try something else, like some new command. But still we are dealing with copying files and directories. Okay. So I'm gonna do nano took for the text. Okay. I'm gonna create another one here. IO. Okay. And Control O is Control X. Okay, else we have document 4. So imagine if I want to copy, I don't want to move. Like move is like cut and paste, right? I want to copy. I want to copy document 4 and just like, you know, put it inside the text file. Or let's say in this one, but like I want to move it in, like, or make a copy inside the text file. So there is another command called CP. CP stands for copy. I want to copy doc4 inside of text files, right? Enter. So let's do ls. It's not like move. We already have the doc4 is already here. But do we have doc4 inside text files? Let's see. So ls text files. Oh, we have doc4 as well. That's good. So can I, for example, let's see, I want to nano this, the one inside text file, but I'm not in there. So I can do nano text files, then look for the text. Look, so I already did. So it's the same file, hi all. But I'm still always in the same directory because I didn't move. I just like nano, and I give it like a path to the document that I want to read. Now, something else actually. Let's do this. We have a doc4.txt. So we use the move, right? We use the move to move the file from like a location to another location, from a directory to another directory. If I want to rename this one, like in the graphical user interface, for example, Windows, you right-click to the file and you just click rename, and you rename this file. So if I want to rename doc4, like I want to do it like, for example, oh, I did a mistake. It's going to be like, you know, file4 instead of text4. So remember, move. We can use it to move the files, and we can use it as well to rename the files. If we do move doc4.txt, and I want to do it like file4.txt. Okay, so this is the previous name or the name of the current file, and this is the name of the new file. If I do enter, I do ls, I can see that this doc4 is already been renamed to the file4. Okay. So PWD, okay. We are in the thesis. If I go back one step, so I'm gonna be in this directory. So, you know, I'm gonna go here. So if I do in the main directory, I have data shell, right? So you remember that we copied the file. So we used CP, the name of the file, then after that, the location where I want to move this file. But now, let us, you know, copy data shell directory, the whole directory. I wanna copy this directory with all of the inside directories and files inside of it and make it like another one. Like let's do like data shell. So I want to copy it to the name data shell, for example, new, right? So do you think this is gonna work? So, like it's supposed to be, right? So like we use CP copy and data shell, the name of the directory with the new name of the directory, and do enter. Oh, okay, there's a problem. So it says CP-R not specified, omitting directory data shell. Why this happened? because data shell is, directory inside. There is a subdirectory inside this directory as well. So there is another subdirectories, files, another subdirectories, files, etc. And to do or to move or to copy all of those, we need to use an option called -R. And this is important. -R. Why -R? Because -R means recursive. Imagine recursive is going to go inside every level of the directory that we want to copy and copy all the file, subdirectories and subdirectories, etc. Okay. Let's see. Oh, it goes well, but we don't know if it's created or not. Let's see. ls. Oh, I can see there is a data shell -new. So it's already copied the file. But remember, if it's a directory that's like there's a subdirectories and files inside of it, we need to use -R, which is recursive copy. Stand for recursive. Okay. Okay, let's go back. CD. Let's do data shell. Let's go to the new one. Why not? Data. And yes. So we are now clear. We are now inside like data shell new and in the data directory. If we do ls, we have those files. Okay. Sounds good. So there is another comment that you need to be careful about, which is deleting or removing, because remember, when you delete something, it's very, very hard to get it back, and it's like kind of impossible. So make sure to be like careful about use this command. This command called remove. So it's RM. RM stands for remove. Let's remove, for example, like morse.txt. So I can do more and tap to complete, and we can delete this file. If we do it, let's do. So if we do ls, oh my God, I deleted this one. So I think I did a mistake, right? Sometimes maybe you did a mistake to delete this file. Sometimes, like, I think it's useful to use one of the options just to make sure that are you sure you want to, delete it or not? So for example, if I do remove animals, okay, remove animal.txt. So I can have an option called -I. What, let's see what's gonna do. It's already, sorry, it's supposed to be probably -I. Is it already here? Yeah, let's do remove salmon, but I'm sorry guys. So -I, small letter, will give me an option to confirm, like it will give me like, oh, remove regular file, salmon or salmon.txt. Are you sure you want to delete this file? If I said yes, it's gonna remove it. If I said no, it's not gonna remove it. So this is probably like something useful to use when you are trying to remove, instead of making some mistakes of the files. Because sometimes I use, I'm very like, when you are like typing really fast, sometimes, like you misspelling, or you tap to complete and you choose some other files that you don't want to delete. But for example, if I have planets and I have planets like plant instead of planets, and I want to delete the plant or planet instead of planets, sometimes it will like, happen. So in this case, like using -i, it will make, make sure that you read the file name before you delete it, because you are dealing with now deleting files. It's not something easy. So yeah. So, okay. Oh, there's something. Let's go to our home directory, right? We can use this. So now we are in the home directory. And if you do ls, so there's a data shell in you, right? Imagine I want to delete the whole directory. Like if I do move, oh, sorry, remove data shell in you. Okay. Does this will remove this one or not? Let's see. Oh, again, it's not. So why? Because it's a directory. It's not a file. If it's a file, that will be okay. But because it's a directory, it's not okay. So in this case, so I need to do remove. What's the option we need is -r, recursive, which is data shell new. Now it works. Hopefully, let's see. So now, as you can see, we have data shell, but we don't have a data shell new. Imagine you are working with a directory with deleting, and be careful about it. Directories usually is like, a very important, or like it has like multiple files, multiple directories, and please be careful. Oh, again, let's do cd data shell ls. Okay. Imagine I want to copy multiple files together. Can I copy multiple files together? For example, I can do cp notes pizza and solar. I want to move it inside thesis, the one that we just created. So imagine, even like with moving and even with copying, it's something really easy using command line interface. So you can copy as much as you want. And we will see in the later how we can use regular expressions, even sometimes to make it easier. And we have like thousands of files. We'll see how we can do it. For example, I want like, copy some files that started with some specific characters. And inside, for example, like 3 characters, I want it to be, ended with, for example, S or etc. So let's see here. Thesis, ls thesis, we can see all of those files that we already copied. It's inside of the thesis, but they are still here because we didn't move them, we just copied them. Okay. Okay. Now, as I said, we have, if we can see here, imagine you have thousands of files. Okay. Imagine we have let's do. I'm not sure which one has. Let's see. Probably will go with this one. Okay. So we'll go inside millicalls for like directory, and there is like some files inside of it. So imagine this directory has like 100,000 files, and I want to deal with those. For example, I want to, copy this, like, for example, make directory copy file. Okay. I have the copy files. I want to copy, for example, some specific files that has, you know, some specific regulations, let's say, or like for the names. What I'm saying, like what I'm mentioning right now is the names. For example, we have like octane, pentan, propan. Those are like file names. Imagine we have like 100,000 of them, and I want to copy, like for example, files that will start, every file that will start with the letter, for example, M, inside the copy files. How can I do that? Can I do that? So we can use actually something called wildcards for accessing multiple files at one time. So for example, let's do CP. And then after that, we want any, like for example, I'll see like all files that start with O, okay, and has, for example, and followed by 5 characters. So how can do that? So I want to copy a file that started with O and contain 5, like followed with, start with O and followed with 5 characters. Imagine there's 100,000 files. And for sure there is, for example, like, you know, 200 or 300 of them. So how can I choose those 300, for example, from those files and copy them inside copy files? So we can do this actually by using the command line interface or the shell command. So the expression that we want is O, start with O, and followed with 5 characters, right? So I can do question mark, this is the first character, second, third, fourth, fifth. And let's see, dot PDB. I want to copy those files inside copy files. Oops, it did. It did do something, right? So let's see. So how many, like, let's see here, how many started with O and followed by 5 characters? There's just one file, right? Which is O, 2, 4, 5. So we should see an octane.pdb inside copy files. Let's do ls copy files. Oh, we can see this one, right? So imagine how the shell command will help us to deal with files, right? So this is a one option. I'll give you another example, which is a really interesting example. Imagine I want to copy the file that has B character or B letter in its name. Let's see, not B, let's see, because B, we have just one, okay, B. So we have just this one, right? But it doesn't matter if the B is the first letter, second, third, etc. Or all of them B's, I don't care. I just want a file that already has character B in its name. So what I can do CB and I can do asterisk. Then B, then asterisk. Why? That means asterisk means 0 or more letters. 0 or more letters. But question mark, that means there is a 1. There has to be a 1 letter. So here it needs to be 1 character after the O. And there is second, third, fourth, 5. So we, in this expression that we did already, we made sure that the file name exists 2, 4, 6 characters, and the first character is O. But in here, because asterisk is 0 or more. That means before B, it can be 0 or more characters. And after B, it can be 0 or more characters till infinity, what it is. And dot PDB. Missing, oh, sorry. Where's the destination? We want to copy it to copy files, okay? Enter. So how many we have? We have just one. So I should have Cobain and Octane, right? Because we already have Octane inside the copy files. Let's see, ls copy files, Cobain and Octane, right? So I can mix between, question marks and asterisks. For example, let's say if I want, all the file names, what's gonna be? All the file names. This is an interesting one. And usually we use it a lot. As a user, you will use it a lot. For example, I want all the files that have extension PDB, whatever. Sometimes you have like a directory has 1,000, files. For example, your output files for your simulation, which has like out file or text or whatever. You want to move them all. So in this case, I can do CP is gonna be what the expression is gonna, decide like all of the names. That means we have at least 0 or more characters inside of it, which is I can just do asterisk dot PDB. Where I want to do it to copy files, or let's say, I'll show you like to make it I'll make another directory called copy files tool just to make it clear. Then after that, I'll cp star dot pdb to the copy files tool. Okay. It copies. It's supposed to copy all the files that have extensions PDB. If we go cd copy files to PLS, as you can see here, all of those is exactly the same, all the files, all the ones over here. So sometimes using, I call it like kind of regular expressions, right? So we are trying to specify which names and the way that we want to specify which files we want to copy. If I want, for example, a file that contains five characters, I just do 1, 2, 3. For example, 4, 5 dot whatever extension, right? If I want something like it has to be D, it has like to be, for example, 5 or let's say like 6 letters or 6 characters, 3, 4, 5, 6, for example, dot text, right? But the second or the third letter has to be D. I can exchange this by D, right? If also the 6th character is going to be O, this is O. Okay, it's going to be, for example, the last letter is going to be, for example, or the first letter is going to be A, for example, A. But here is going to show me that will include A, the first letter of the file, and has to be the third letter D. Okay, but sometimes, okay, the first letter and the third letter D with no restriction of how long it's going to be. I need to add asterisk because it can be 3 letters at least, 4, 5, 6, 7, etc. Okay. I hope this was useful for you guys. Okay. I'm gonna clear my screen. I'm gonna go and see where I am right now. How many files? So let's do, for example, I need to nano. So this is a file, for example. This is the content of the files. So we'll see right now how we can display the files and etc. Okay. So I have this file or these files that's like in front of me. There is a command called WC. WC, and let's say, for example, Octane. Okay. Specify the file of the name. What's it gonna show us? Okay, it shows the name of the file. That's good. And there's some numbers, right? That's good, actually. Those number represents like counts. So the first one, it will represent the number of lines, while the second one, it will represent the number of words. And this one, the third one, it's gonna represent the number of characters. So if you have a file, you can know how many lines inside of it, how many words inside of it, and how many characters inside of it. So I can do, for example, WC dash L, which gonna show you, for example, a number of lines, and for example, Octane. So number of lines in here is just like the option dash L. It will show us just the number of lines, ignoring that, number of words and number of characters. You always can do WC dash dash L and see all of, for example, dash C will show us like the byte counts, and dash M character counts. For example, let's see here, dash L, instead of that, I want to use dash M, which is the character counts. This is how many characters inside this file. Okay, I'm gonna do clear. So we did already word count. There is something I want just to mention about the word count again, is so we have here, as we see, I'm gonna get rid of this. Okay, here you go. So we have here like, multiple files. Can I do word count, or like, count all the files that have the extension PDB, for example, at the same time? So I can do word, sure we can. I can do word count, and I can do, if I want lines, for example, dash L, all files dot PDB, as we said, it's like asterisk dot PDB. So as you can see here, it will count, all the lines for all the files that have extension PDB. So this is useful as well, like if you want to count words, or like, lines, characters, whatever, for more than one file at the same time. Okay. Now let's okay. I'm gonna go back to data shell. I'm gonna go, for example, cd. Okay. So there is a command called cat. Cat, it will, like, as I mentioned before, you saw me like I'm just using nano for viewing the files, right? For example, nano, like if I want, for example, to see animals.txt. So I can do like nano animals .text, right? So to see the content of the file. Sometimes this is like, time consuming thing, right? So in this case, sometimes I want to, is there any way I can, see the content of the file? Yes, there is. There's many ways actually. And one of them is just cat. Cat, if I do cat animals .text, as you can see here, I'm still in the shell on my same screen. And, just the bash or the shell command will, display all the content of the animals or the files that I specified. And there is another command called sort. Sort, it will sort the content of the file. For example, if I do sort and the name of the files, it's gonna, sort the content of the file. And then if I want to do like alphanumerical, so there is another option or dash or like option that I can use. It's called -n. That will like sort the file alphanumerical instead of doing something else, like, like by numbers instead, for example. But like since the file that we already have probably it doesn't, have. But if you have a file that already have numbers, and you can sort of it using -n. Okay, there is something called redirect. This is something useful as well. Like I'll do clear. So if I go, we already used sort -n animals, right? And let's see. Like this first of all. Here, like as you see, I use Ctrl+C. If I do any of the comments and I don't want to use it, like I write this comment, I wanted to abort this comment. I just use Ctrl+C instead of Enter, and it will give me another line without executing the previous comment. So this is a useful thing actually to use when you are using command shell. And so I can go back here, like by the arrows, the up arrows. So I want to sort this one. And there is this sign or like more than. That means redirect. So in this case, I want to redirect the output of this command and save it to other commands. Like I'll show you something. Here, when we run this command, so we can see the output over here, right? Like on the terminal. While I want to save this output in another file. Can I do that? So yes, I can do that in the long way. So I can create, maybe like do nano and name of the file, then copy this one, and it's like wasting of time, right? Is there any like something easier? Yes. So I can do sort. I want the output of this command to be saved or redirect the output of this command to be inside, for example, output.text. Okay. So if I hit enter, where is the output of this command? Which is this one, right? So, but instead of showing it on the terminal, I saved it on another file called output.text. If I do ls, I can see something here called output.text. If I do, for example, cat output.text, I can see the same output or the output of this command that I already wrote, which is already there here. I can see it inside, or I can save it or write it inside a file called output.text. Okay, I'll do something else. So there is a command called echo. So if I do echo, for example, hello, echo means like print like whatever you write is going to print it on the terminal. So if I do echo hello, it will write over here or output hello. If I do hi, it's going to write hi in the terminal. Okay, so I can do, for example, echo hello. Okay, and then I want to redirect this one to the same file. Let's say the output.txt. So what's going to happen here? So there is an output from this command that will be written or redirect to the another file called output.txt. But let's see, the output.txt, it has already, like, you have already here, we have content on it, right? So if we do this, let's do it. What's going to happen? So if I do cat output.txt, oops, we have just hello. So where is the content of the previous file? It's overridden. So this is one thing you need to care about, or to pay your attention about, which is if you redirect, that means the new results of the comment that you're redirecting to is going to overwrite, and the previous content of the file is going to be removed and replaced with the new content of the comment or redirecting thing. There is something else. There is something else called append. So we already do, like, if we do, for example, again, hi, and then if we cat, it's going to be hi, and hello is going to be, removed. There is something called append. Append, it will do exactly like redirect, but with double, like more than, or like arrows, sign. So what this append will do, the append, from its name, it's append. That means it will not replace it, but it will add it to the text. For example, if I do echo instead of hi, hello, right? If we do hello, and the output.txt already have the hi content, right? Written inside of it, or like as its content. So echo hello, we will redirect, we will append this to the output.txt. Let's see what's going to happen. Now, if I'm going to do cat output.txt, look, the previous content of the file output.txt is still there, but we append the hello, or the output of the command that we already written or executed to the file output.txt. So I can do again. If I do again, like, for example, HCC. So here, because I used redirect, it moved or removed all of the files before, or all of the content. Again, if I use this one, HCC and HCC, again. So it's going to be HCC. If I do it another time, it's going to HCC 3 times, and so on. So this can be applied to all of the append and redirect. So it doesn't need to be like the command echo. It's going to be like whatever it's the command I want, and you want to save this command to one of the file, overwrite it. So you will use redirect, right? Which is one arrow. If you want just to add it to the file, the content of the file is going to be, append. Okay, there is another command we want to learn about, which called head. For example, like, we have animals, right? If we do like cat animals text. There is like, probably 10, 2, 4, 6, 8 lines in here. Imagine you have a file that already have, like, for example, 1,000 lines, or 10,000 or 100, even though sometimes you can't see it, like you need to scroll up and down to see the content of the file. But sometimes you need just to know a little bit about this file. Yeah, like for example, I need to see the first 3, like 3 lines of this file, of the head of this file. So there is something called head animals. For example, it's the animals.txt. The head command will show you the first 10 lines. In this case, imagine, look, it's going to be the same, right? Why? Because the content of the file is small. It's just like, it's let's say 8 lines. While if it's like, for example, 100 lines, it's going to show me the first 10. This is the default one. So can we specify how many lines, or the first few lines that we can specify to show on the terminal? Yes, we can. There is an option, again, always there is an option called -n, and -n, and which is the number of the lines. And how many, for example, if I want to see, for example, the first 3 lines of, or display the first 3 lines inside, like on the animal.txt file. If I do this, as you can see, I can see right now just the first 3 sentences. If I want 4 or 1, for example, let's do 1. This is 1. It's going to be just the first line. Okay, there's something else. Imagine I want to see the last 3 lines. So there is another command called tail, and we can specify the name of the file. So what's gonna show us? Like if I do tail animal, it's gonna show, it's like head, but it's gonna be the last. Here, like the last 10 lines. So the last 10 lines here is going to show us the whole, right? Because we have less than 10. We have less than 10 lines in the file. But for example, if I want to see the last 2 lines of a file, -n, then 2. Look, as you can see here, it's going to show us the last 2 lines, while the head will show us the first 2 lines for this command. So this is one of the useful commands to use for just like displaying the files and read the content. And I think you guys gonna use it a lot, and that's why like we are explaining it and introducing it in this session. Something else we want to talk about, which is let's see here. I'll go back to CD creators, probably. CD data. I'm trying to see just like, no, let's keep just in here. Okay, here you go. So what I'm gonna do, for example, word count all the files .pdb. I'm gonna redirect it to a new file called length.txt. So what's gonna do? This is gonna, like let's do before this. Here is gonna show us the word count. But if I do this, it's gonna redirect this one and write the output in the document or a file called length.txt. So if I do this, and I do, like, for example, head length.txt. So all of the content in here, we put them inside in here. There is another command. Why I'm doing this? Because I want to show you like another command or something called pipe command. The pipe, imagine it's like, you are connecting two things. There is an output of one thing. Like one command, there is an output of one command. Can we use it as an input to another command? So that's why they call it pipe. It's kind of like connecting. So we are piping the output of one command as an input, give it to input to the other command. And the pipe symbol is like this one. This is the pipe symbol. So let's try to do something with it. So, okay. If I do, for example, there is another command called sort, as we said, sort -n, for example, length.txt. Okay. This is going to sort the content of the file, right? But imagine I want to do the content of the file. I want to sort it while also I want to show just the first line. I want to show just the first line of it. How can we do this? So in this case, we need to use the pipe. So I'll do this. This is the first command, right? I'm going to use the first command or the output of the first command, which is this one. This is the output of the first command as an input of the second command, which is I want to show the first line of this file. I can do what? I can do head, right? -n1. So what's the output of this one? As you can see. So the output of this one, of this command, we will see the output of this command on the left as an input to this one, to the second one, to the right. So this is the input or the output, sorry, to the first command. We will feed it to this command. This command will get the head or the first line, show the first line of this command, which is this one. So you can do lots of stuff using the pipeline. Like even though you can, read about it also, and you can also, use it in many examples. It can be like a specific example. Okay. So another example, let's say, let's do word count all the lines for star or the file.pdb. So this is gonna count all the lines and I'm gonna pipe it. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna, for example, let's do sort. Let's sort. So this will word count all the files.pdb. And then after that, it's gonna sort them. Use them as like, then after that, as an input to the sort. And the sort is gonna sort all of the files. That is the output of the first command that we used. So let's do the same thing. Can I use more than one pipe at the same command? Yes, why not? So I can sort, let's do these two things, and I can pipe it again, and I can do head -n 3 lines. This is the first, this is exactly as the previous one, but we pipe it and we want to show the first 3 lines, which is 9, 12, 15, and those things. And as you can see. So this is a very useful like command that usually you guys maybe use it while, you know, using shell commands. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. So, you know, I'm gonna do another command just to make it clear for you. So I can do cat length to text. I'm gonna pipe it. Let's do the tail. For example, -n. So we'll take print the content of length, take the last 3 lines, and then after that we're gonna pipe it to sort, like we will sort it -r. Then maybe we can direct or redirect this to out to text. Oh, sorry. This needs to be sorted. Okay. So if I do cat out the text, so it will take the length, the text, show the content of it, take the last 3 lines, sort them, and redirect the output to the out.text. So there's many things you can do with this, with the pipeline. Okay. So, okay, where we are in now, and I'm gonna go back, CD creators. So we have 3 files in this directory. I am right now inside like data shell and creators. Sometimes we are now going to another set of commands, or which is loops. Loops are also very useful to use, and loops actually, like, so from its name, what does it mean by saying loops? Loops, that means it's going to loop or go through more than one file, let's say, or multiple files at the same time, and apply the command to them like as the same. Like, for example, if I do, for example, delete or remove the files, it's gonna like loop through all the files, for example, and remove them. If I want to change the names, it's gonna change the name, all of the, like, for example, 10 files or whatever, how many, or what's the count of the loop I specified, it's gonna go through all of the files. So why loop? It's important because it's gonna save our times. Instead of doing it one by one, so I can do multiple stuffs to multiple files at the same time without even, like, you know, spending that much time and effort. So, and then in this case, we will learn a little about loops and how to deal with loops. So we have 3 files as in here, right? For the loops, there is a syntax you have to follow, or we have to follow to make like the loops works correctly. If we don't follow that procedure or that syntax, it's gonna give us an error. So I'll give you an example, like, and I'm gonna, you know, like explain it probably after writing it. Okay. So this is usually the general format for the syntax for the loops. So we need to specify first of all if this is, we kind of said this is a loop. How we can specify this is a loop? So by specifying the let's say a keyword called for. So we will write for. So here what we did, we specify a variable. So variable can be any name. So I can do like file name. We will try it like later, or any name we want. So then we want this loop to be applied to those files. Like this is 1, 2, 3. That means this for loop at the first time of the iteration, or the first iteration, is gonna take the first file. And then after that is gonna apply the command to this file. Then after that, is it done? Is not done again. It's gonna go for the second iteration, and it's gonna take the second file, which is minotaur.dat. Then after that is gonna do, what does it mean? Like do apply this, the next command or whatever set of commands to this file in the second loop, because we are in the second iteration. And then is it done? Is not done, because there is still another file we need to loop. So this is a unicorn.dat is gonna go for third iteration. Do this command. Done. Is it done? Yes, we don't have any more files. So this is gonna do a for iteration to this file. So what we're gonna do for this file is gonna take, the head is going to display the first 3 lines of the file name. Imagine this is the file name, is the same as, the file name as in here, but we specify with $sign. That means the file name is change. It's a variable that will change every iteration. So the first iteration is going to take the file name that is in the first iteration. The file name is going to be the basilisk. Then after that is the file name is gonna be changed to the second name, and then the third iteration is gonna change or take the unicorn. So the file name is gonna be changed. The variable that changed between all of those, in every iteration is gonna be changed. Why this is important? Imagine it's not like this. Then after that, like how we can change the name of the files for each iteration. So it's gonna be hard. And after that, after doing the head for the first iteration for the first file, we will take or pipe it and, print the tail of the last one line. And the second iteration is gonna go to the second file, take it, and, it's gonna, print the head or the first 3 lines, then the tail of that third line, which is the last line of the 3 lines that already took from because it's a piping thing. And for the third, iteration is going to do the same. This do what's going to be the output. This is the output of the line. Like, for example, like if you can do, for example, let me tell you something. We can do head -n3, right? And we can do this file, and we can pipe it tail -n1. Look at this output of this command. This is the command we already executed in the for loop. And for this one, for the first file, which is basilisk.dat, we take this file and, this is the output of it, which is going to take the file, take the first 3 lines, and pipe it, take the last line. Do you know what's this going to happen? Like what's going to do? It's going to print the third line in the file. Because if we take the first 3 lines and then print the last line, that means the number third in the file. So this is the, like if you do more, or let's say head, okay, dash and 3, okay. So look at the third line. This is the third line of the file. It took the third line, just output it. So why we used 4? So imagine you have like 100 of the files. Every file, if I want to do this command for all of the files that I have, I need to apply it. For example, this is the first file I need to apply. The second one, I need to do for this one, and the third one, I need to do Tunica. So these 3 commands will exactly do what this 4 will do, because this is going to loop for 3, let's say 3 files, and then after that do this this command, execute this command to each of them. But right now here, as you can see, we combine all of those 3 in just one. Imagine there is 100. So how much time is going to take from you? It's going to take lots of time, right? So, and this is one way that you can deal with the files. So I think this is a very useful command. As I said before, there is another thing actually. So I can do the same command, for example, as I told you like before, for example, for let's do like, for example, X and this is the first one, and then there is, I think, menu, and there is and after that I'm gonna do head minus n2, then X. It's the same command, right? Till minus n1, then done. Okay, this is the first one. What's the difference? The difference is, as I mentioned before, like the name of the variable that here you can specify it any name you want. So, but remember, the name you specify it over here is going to be the same name or the same name variable like you're going to specify. So I can do like, for example, here X and here is Y. It's not going to be like undefined. Another thing, if I go back, can you see here, like I wrote the for loop command. So I wrote the for loop in 3 different lines. And as you can see, here's a $sign. It changed to more than, right? What does that mean? So whenever you see this sign or this character in the command line, that means the command that you already wrote is not complete. So you need to complete it. So it doesn't mean sometimes it's going to be like, for example, if you run one of the applications, sometimes it's going to be an input to a file. So this is something like, you know, you need to know about. Like sometimes if you had this, you know, like more than sign or character, that means it's not done. So you need to complete your statement or your, you know, comment. But can we combine those together in one command? Yes. So like, as I say, like if you go up, you can see your previous, you know, comments, right? But here, for example, if I, like here's, there's one last, as you can imagine, like maybe it's 1, 2, 3, 4, right? But no, this is a one comment. This is a one comment because it's not completed yet till it's completed. But what's happened here? So you can write actually the whole for loop in just one comment. So you can do for x in the files that we want to specify, semicolon. Then after that, do. Then after that, the comment. Then pipe. This is the whole comment. Then after that, you know, there is another semicolon. Then done. So is this is equal exactly this? Yes. Can we try it? Yes. Let's just try it. So there is many ways to write the loops. So you can write the loop by, you know, specifying just like for in one line, then do, then execute it. Like I just do it in this one, in this way, just to you guys, you can, it's going to be like easier to follow and understand. While you can actually, you can write it just in one command or in one line. Yes. Okay. So let's do, where are we right now? In the creator. So CD, let's do here, like, so we have some files here. Another example maybe we can do. We can do, for example, for data file n. So this is like an actual interesting thing. So the thing is here, so we specify the name, each name of the files that we want the for loop to go, or the iterations go one by one. So imagine I have like 100. Should I specify all of them, for example? It's going to be hard, right? Or time consuming, let's say. So what I can do, for example, here, for example, we have text file, we have PDB file. So I want this iteration to be in all of the, you know, PDB file. So I can do, again, star.pdb. Okay. Then after that, I can do. For example, I need just, you know, to see those files, just like, you know, to list those files. I can ls star .pdb and then done. Look, the output of this is gonna like list all of the PDB file like inside this directory. But again, so as you can see in here, how many like times it listed, right? Like Octane listed 2, 4, 6 times, and this is listed 6 times. You know why? Because we specify this one is gonna like loop and print it all the files for how many loops? Like we have 6 files. The first loop is gonna take this one and write it this one, and we have another file again and again. It's gonna be 6 times, multiply 6 times. That's why when we do for example, for data file, we can do data file and star.pdb. For example, we can do, we can do ls and the variable data file, and then done. In this case, it's going to write it just once. Okay. So we are almost actually done. Probably I'm going to give you some time for questions. Okay. So again, another, I think like, you know, like the most important thing is just like, you know, for example, you get the idea of the use of the for loop. So you can use it with anything. You can create your own for loop. Depends on what's the purpose you want to create it. And there's another command. So let me tell you something. Here, for example, like we have, lots of commands we already wrote. And, sometimes you need or forget some of the commands and you want to use them, but you don't remember how to write this command or something, or you want to see your history. There is actually a command called history. Okay, the history command will show you the history of your commands that you already wrote in the terminal. For example, if I do history, as you can see, you can scroll. This is all the commands I've already wrote in this session. So it can show, I don't know, to be honest, how many lines it can go through, but like I think it's too many actually, too many lines. And you can use actually control with R to search. For example, if I want to clear, I want like clear. Look here, like I just write the first two letters, which is CL, and it shows me the clear. And I can just enter and I can use this command. So this is another, useful command, because like sometimes you have like thousands of, like hundreds of thousands of commands you have already written in the shell, and then after that, you need to search about specific commands, so you can search about it. Again, it's like, it's history, and you can use Control R. Look how it changes to reverse I search. So I can, for example, do ls. It can show me like some of the comments, or for example, again, let's clear it. So that's probably all what we need to know, or the most useful commands. So what I'm gonna I will use probably take another 10 minutes again, and I'll show you something else. So we have already talked about tools that is, useful for, writing text, saving text, which is like we talked about Nano, right? But in my opinion, if you want to look for other things, I think there's something useful. Another tool is useful. It's more complex. Like I myself use it. For example, I don't like to use Nano. It's like something like, it's a flavor. Like I like orange, I don't like apple. It's something, different. So there is another tool called Vim. Vim is another command. It's like more complex, but you can, for example, if you want, if you'd like, you can look about it, Google it and see how it works. Maybe you will like it more. So like the goal of this, like why I'm introducing this tool, is because sometimes you will like it more than, for example, Nano. So I'll give you like different flavors of the text editors that you want to work with. So for example, I'll do VIM. Let's do the lengths, okay? The one that we already did. So as you can see, it's like it show me the content of the file. And again, if I want this to exit of this, I need to go from for example, if I want to type, it doesn't type unless I press insert or any of the keys or the character I. If I press I, so I already did it before, that's why it's writing I. But if it doesn't, it doesn't. So if I do I, so look at here, it's changed to insert. As you can see here, it's insert. This is the insert mode. So insert mode, that means you can write in the file. So if I, for example, I want to right at the end, this is enter hello HCC users. Okay. Then I want to save this file. Probably you will not like the way, but like, for example, like after using it again and again, probably you will like it more and more. So I need to do escape and then colon WX or X. So in this case, like I edited the file and I added one of the lines. So if I do, for example, here, cat links, so I can see here, I edited it, like and added this command. If I want to create a new file, I can do just like vim test, for example, to text. So here, like I created a new account. Now I am in the view mode. If I press I, it changes it to insert. So hello HCC users. Okay, hello HCC staff. Okay. And then I need to save it. I need to change it to the exit mode, then colon X. And if I do like cat test.text, so I can see those, you know, lines already, or the text I already did it. Again, if I do vim, let's say test.text, so I can see those. And then after that, like there's something really like interesting. If I want to search, I do like for example, if I want to search about HCC word, I do escape colon backslash, for example, HCC. Imagine, like, look at this, like it's gonna like, you know, highlighted the HCC here, and I can, you know, go through all of that by pressing the and button is gonna, you know, switch between it means next, you know, it's gonna go to the next find. Another thing, you know, like, let me go again. For example, if I want here, I can delete one line at a time. So if I want to remove or delete one line at a time, for example, I can press double D. For example, I want to remove HCC staff sentence. So I can do just DD, it removed it. If I want to remove hello HCC users, DD, it removed it. I can save it. So if I cat test.text, it's empty because I already deleted those lines. So this is just like, you know, a very brief and introduction about another text editor that you might, you know, maybe try, or maybe you will like it more than Nano, for example. It's just like another option that you can use. So finally, you can do like exit. If you exit from here, you will disconnect from, or you can do logout, exit or logout. You can, you know, log out or exit from the crane, and you will go back. As you can see, I went back to my local directory, like in my local machine. So if I do pwd, so you can see I'm no longer connected to the remote server cluster, which is crane. If I do want to connect again, so I do SSH, and then after that username and the same steps again. So I think I tried to cover most of the commands. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope I wasn't like boring, and hopefully you get benefits of it, and you're gonna use it in the future. Thank you. Yes, Emily, you wanna take over it?